Good morning, Lucy here with a new mini album I just called it Winnie the Pooh mini album. It's a 6.5 by 6.5 album, and it's got the cutest Winnie the Pooh paper. I call it Pooh paper, so not to be mistaken with other Pooh. So I'll first go around, go through it to show you what it looks like. I put a bit of, oh, it's gotten dirty there. So I will go through it page by page to give you an idea of what it looks like. So on the cover page, I made some envelopes to tuck in, and it flips up to 6 by 6. On the first page we have a flap, and I've put a magnet in here so it stays closed, and then this flap opens up again, so we have it opens up quite large. Every they're called signatures, has a pull-out page where you could put a 4 by 6 in, and it just slides into here. We have another flap held by a magnet. It flips up. This one flips down, flips left, and it flips right. The front of page 2 has another tuck spot, and I just cut these 3 by 4s in here. You could put pictures on the back and tucks in here. Again, a pull-out page. This, I just used one of the 3 by 4s and put a tuck spot. You could just leave it open, so you could put a large picture on here. Page 3, I have a waterfall. And I put the waterfall on a belly band so that you could stick some 4 by 6s in here as well. Another pull-out. The back of page 3 is just a little booklet. Page 4, I did something different that I've never done before, and that is these triangles open up to be squares, and there are 4 of them. So they all open up to be 4 squares. They close up as triangles, and I put magnets on these 2 corners. Another pull out. Let's get it in the right place. On the back of that page is 2 flaps. They pull out this way. And on the back cover is a flap, a belly band, and it flaps open down. So lots of spaces to put pictures. And it's all about the Winnie the Pooh paper, really. So let's get started. We always start, of course, with our cover. 6.5 by 6.5, 6.5 by 6.5, 2 by 6.5. And I cover those with sheets of suquang. I prefer the sheets. They're easier when you're working with cardstock. They're easier to work with. So what I do is I pull this back and I fit my chipboard into that corner. And I don't have quite everything I need. I usually don't. Let's see. And here we go. Need my cutting mat and my knife. So I'm just going to cut it along here. Like so. And we have our suquang on there. Now I will use the rest of this on this corner. The sheets are no more expensive than the rolls, and I just find it so much easier. Saves time. And we will put, yep, this one fits perfectly on here. Even if it overlaps, it's no big deal. Just make sure that it goes to this edge. There we go. Piece here, I think that'll fit as well. I think it's a little bit wider, but we'll just clip it off. It's gonna go this way. There we go. There we go. I keep every little piece I can. It's too expensive to throw out. Okay, so we'll take our wrap. My wrap here has seen better days by the looks of it. You should, if you're using a kit, you will have 2 pieces of wrap. One that is 12 by 8.5, and another one that is 6 by 8.5. What we're going to do is we're going to tape these 2 together so we have a longer length. And to do that, I will use my 5 or 3, I'm not positive which is this is. Doesn't have to be thick. We're just going to put this up against here. And we'll take this. Oh, no. Okay, let's see here. There we go. And I'll just put this on top like that. And there's a couple of things I need from here. And we'll just give that a burnish. Now we're going to take our they're 6.5 by 6.5, so it doesn't matter which way you put them on. Like that and like that. So we have just about the right length on each side. Okay, just going to give this a burnish here. There we go. So to start with, I'm going to leave, yeah, if I do this, I think this is about the right spacing there. And I am going to take the sequin off this piece first. There we go. And like I said, it overlapped a bit. It won't matter at all. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to use, I'll tell you what this is all about in a second, but this is 1 inch wide here. So I'm just going to put it so that it's 1 inch on top, and then I'll know where to put. I want to make sure I have 1 inch on the side. There we go. So that one's down. I don't think I put it exactly straight, but you know what? Nobody will know about it. We're going to use this. This was made by Gabriel's Heart 3D printing. And it gives me 1 inch on the top, and it gives me 3/16 between, which is what I need to be able to bend the paper without it cracking. So I'm going to put this here and this there. So when I take it off, I've got a perfect spacing there. I'm going to do the same with the other side. And as you can see, I'm not straight. You're never going to see that. Okay, so I've got that down. Now with some, I would put a piece of Tyvek, and I believe your kits have a piece of Tyvek to put underneath, like attached, taped to the black paper, about this far apart, about in here, okay? And that just gives your paper a little bit more strength. I didn't have any in mind, so we'll go with it. So now what we want to do is we want to put tape, and we're going to take 9.5 millimeter tape, and we're going to put it all the way around the chipboard and the black cardstock. And I hope I don't run out of my 9.5. I don't know that I have any in the cupboard, so here's hoping. And we put it. I'm not going to put it in the corners because we're going to be mitering those corners, so there's no need for it there. We need to put some here. I find it's a quick little book that's got gives a lot of bang for its buck, I think. And as I always say, making the cover is the longest part of the tutorial. Right. We have everything. Oh, got this piece here. There we go. Now, again, Gabrielle's Heart made this wonderful little miter corner, and what it is it's the same depth as the cardstock that we sell, or sorry, the chipboard that we sell in the store, and it gives you the right amount of black paper in between here. Okay, so you won't see the chipboard. So you just stick it in here and make your line here. That's where we're going to be cutting it off, so we don't have too much paper. Okay. Now we're going to cut those off. Go. And we're just going to fold. What I do is I just fold it over like this so that it's all okay. Same on the lengths. You just fold it all over. Now, what I have found is put wet glue right along the edge of the chipboard here. Not a lot. Come on. There we go. I just put it just along the edge here. And as I say, it doesn't take a lot. Just a small bead of glue. Whoop. All the way along. And then going to take all these off. We're just going to flip this up a little so that we don't get it stuck in. Come on. Being difficult. There we go. And pull this off. And pull this up. Okay, so we have our glue right up against, and we're going to fold it's what I do anyways, is I fold it. That way I am sure that I don't have too much paper along here. Okay. And it's nice and smooth along here. Plus, I find now that I've been doing that, it doesn't, this piece here doesn't rip. Who would have thunk, eh? So I'm going to do the same here. And up. Okay, this way. Okay. Okay, there we go. And the only reason that I pull those up a bit is so that they don't get stuck underneath when I glue my side down, or my edges. Okay, so we're going to put our glue in. There we go. And fold over again. Oh, see how this one fell back in? No big deal. But okay, we have to do our ends. Now, for our ends, if you were to just fold it over, you would find that you would have like a little piece sticking out. So what I do is I push this in. Okay, so it's nice and even. So there's nothing sticking out. Okay, see how it's nice and even? A bead of glue. And I just fold it over. Now see how these are perfect? That wouldn't have been so perfect had we not pushed that piece in. And excuse me. And our cover is done. We can just fold it carefully. Now where this is joined, I'm going to put this at the back. It's not going to show anyways because you're going to have your pattern paper on there, but I still put it at the back. Okay, so now we're going to work on our hinge. So you have a piece that's called hinge, and it is 8.5 by 6 1/4. So put your 8.5 on the top, and I've already done this just to save a little bit of time. So you can just pause me and do that on your own. But what you do is you start scoring at 1.5, and you go every 1/2 inch until you hit 7. Okay, so start at 1.5, every 1/2 inch till you get to 7, and then there's a 1.5 inch on each end. Okay, so what you're going to do then is you are going to put, and you're going to number each of these 1 through 11. The 1/2 inch pieces are going to be numbered 1 through 11. And you're going to put tape on 1, 4, 7, and 10. Okay, you're going to put tape on those. And I've changed things a little bit. I use 7mm tape now on there. Let's see, where's my 7mm tape? Such a mess here. Here it is, I believe. Let me check. Yes. There's my 7mm tape. And I'm going to put the tape on the outside edge. Okay, so I'm going to put it, let's fold this before I do anything else. You're going to fold 1 onto 2. Okay, so it'll go like this. 1, just going to fold this back because that's not part of, well, it is part of our hinge, but okay, so you're going to put 1 onto 2. So you're going to put your tape along this edge of number 1, okay, which will be really the outside or the top part of your hinge, okay, so, or the left-hand side of number 1. The same with number 4, the left-hand side, not in the middle, but closer, not on the score line, but right by the score line of number 4. The same thing with 7, right by the left side, left score line. And the same with number 10. Okay. All right, so I'm going to fold 1 onto 2. So 1 is going to glue onto 2. So I'm just going to fold it, burnish, and I'll pull that out. Okay, and then you have a number 3, and then you're going to fold 4 onto 5. Nothing goes on number 3. So 4 is going to get glued to number 5. Fold down, burnish. Okay, you're going to leave 6 alone. Okay, and you're going to glue 7 onto 8. It's a kind of a mess. You kind of like, okay, so I see 3 and I see 6. 7 where did it go? 7 goes on to 8. Okay, and you see 9. So we're going to fold that. And we're going to fold it so that 10 goes down onto 11. So we're going to take the tape off 10. And we're going to fold 10 onto 11. And we're going to pull this open so that you see your 1.5, 3, 6, 9, and 1.5. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. Here are your hinges. These are your hinges, and you want to kind of flip them, flap them back and forth a little bit, just to loosen it up a bit. Okay, so you're going to flip and flap. Okay. We are now going to, lost my scissors. Okay. All right, so we're going to miter these just a wee bit, not all the way to the bottom, but just a little bit, okay? Just a wee little bit to help us get our pages on there. We're going to do that on both sides. Just a tad, not to the bottom. Okay. And we are also going to put tape on both sides of each of these hinges. Okay, both sides of the hinges. So I'm going to use my 9.5. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use my 7. Yeah, I'm going to use my 7, not my 9.5. My 9.5 is going to be a bit too thick. So let's use 7. And again, on the outside of the hinge. Just on the very edge. Just on the edge. And I'll show you why later when we put our pages on. Why you don't want to go too far down. And why the 9-inch is a bit too wide now. If you're watching an older one of my album classes, you'll see that I used to use 9.5, but Gabriel's Heart again made me a super duper tool that makes putting on pages onto our hinges a breeze. And I'll show you that when we get to that point. One more. So there is 7mm tape all the way across. Okay, we now need to put tape on the back of all of this. Okay, and I am going to use yeah, it's not quite wide enough. Okay, we'll just use it anyways. I have so much of this rolled tape, and it's, you know, there's always somewhere to use it. So we're going to make sure that we have this on the corner. Like that. Okay, stick to my disc. There we go. It's really good stuff. And There we go. It's just a bit too wide to do that. Although I could use it and then just take that piece off. Okay. There we go. Whoop. Okay. I'll use that little piece for something in a minute. Okay, and we're going to burnish that. Make sure it's nice and snug. And we're going to take our cover back. And we're going to set it so that it's centered on our spine, so that each of these is centered on our spine, and also this is centered back and forth. Now I see all this tape that I have here. I'm going to take that off because it is going to show when we get it onto our book. So I'm just going to cut that off. The sides don't matter because that's going to be covered by pattern paper. But the edges here, I don't like to be able to see that. Okay, we're going to take the backing off. And now some people mark it. I just go by eyeball. I can see that this is where it is. It's centered on my spine this way, and it's centered there, and there. And burnish those because they have to stay down really well. This is the foundation of our book. And then we want to just help it like that. And like that. Okay. Now I can see I'm a little close to my front cover, but there's still room, so I'm not going to worry about it. And so our book is, the cover's all ready to go. Set it aside. We are going to now work on our base pages. Now, hold my score pal in. And you'll find in your kits some 4 pages that are 7 1/4 by 6 1/4, and you're also going to find 4 that are 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. So what we want to do is the one that's 6 1/4 by 7 1/4. You're going to put the 7 1/4 on the top, and you're going to score at 1/2. Okay, and you're going to do that with all 4. 1/2. 1/2. And 1/2. Okay, so these technically are not 6 1/4, they're 6 3/16. So they're like a tad bit bigger than 6 1/4. So we're going to put tape along here. Always, unless you're told otherwise, always put the tape on the valley side. There's a mountain, or there's like you feel a mountain, and here you feel an indent. You always want to put your tape on the indented side. Okay. And one more. We're going to, I'm going to find my smaller scissors. Here they are. We're just going to miter each side here, just so we don't have too much paper on our corners. There we go. And we're gonna fold and burnish. Try when you're burnishing not to burnish on the tape side. The tape could bubble and kind of look like cooked bacon. So you don't want that. You want it to lay flat. So we do it on this side. Okay. So what we're going to do is, let me just check here. Okay. We are going to adhere the 6 1/4 page onto here. Now, yes, I forgot 3 little words on the end of my one. At 1/2 on both ends. So when you have your 7 1/4, it's 1/2 on both ends. So nothing like reading the instructions. Here we go. Okay. And so we're going to put our tape down on both ends. Yeah. Let's see here. There. There we go. you're going to do all this in at one time when because you're going to do it the right way. You're going to do it right away. Miter. Burnish. Miter. Burnish. Both ends, miter. Burnish. And there should be one more. I've done them all. No. Okay, now we're done. So we're going to adhere this piece to the 6 1/4 piece, and you'll see that it matches up perfectly. Okay. So what I do to make it a little bit easier is I take the paper off this one side and I go and on the side that I haven't taken it off, I put it so that everything's aligned, and then I put it down on the other side. Okay, then I pull this out and it's done. On the other end, it should just lay flat. It should be easy to adhere. Okay, so I just lay it flat and it lays down. And we're going to do that 4 times. Okay, I'm gonna go, you're gonna stay out. I'm going to make sure it's nice and even here. And I'm gonna put it down. 2 more. Oh, it's not quite right here. Might be able to pull it apart because I have it burnished, but let's see. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's try that again. There, that's better. And one more. There we go. So let's put them all together so that the openings are on the left and the right, okay? Bit of a mess here. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. With my sides left and right open, I'm going to number each page. So this is 1, the back is 2, next one's 3, the back is 4, the next one's 5, the back is 6, last one is 7, and the back is 8. Okay? All right. So let's set those aside, and we're going to work on our pockets for the cover page. The next, I think, in your package will be the inserts, and they will be 6 by 6, and we don't do anything to them until you go to put pattern paper on it, or not do anything to them, just put your pictures on. So we're just going to set those aside. The next, you should see, I put IC, which means inside cover. These are my code name. And there are 3 of them. You'll see one's larger, one's medium, and one's little. So we're going to score each of these. Each of these is going to get scored at a 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, so no matter what width they are, we're going to go a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2, and it's 7 1/4, so 6 3/4. And a 1/2, 6 3/4, a 1/2, 6 3/4. Oh, I'm messed up here. All right. We're going to put tape on each side of these, each end. And one last end. Okay, we're going to burnish. Full burnish miter. I tend to miter first, doesn't matter. Whichever way you are used to doing it. Okay. We're going to fold and burnish. Okay, now we're going to apply 5mm tape to the inside bottom of each. And when I say, so this is going to become a pocket, right? Because our sides are in. Now the inside, we're just going to put a piece of 5mm tape at the bottom to keep it closed, to make it a pocket, right? So we're just going to put a wee piece, doesn't take a lot because we just want to make sure that it, same for all 3 of them. Oh, there we go. And that's going to make our pocket. Okay. All right. Let me get rid of that piece of tape. There we go. Okay, so we are going to, there's also a flap, if you remember, I'll show you. Those pockets get put on a flap, right? They don't get put right on the cover, they get put on a flap. So let's take our flap, and it's called IC flap, inside cover flap. Still have that piece of tape, there we go. You're going to score it. It's 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. So on the 6 3/4, you are going to score it at a half. Yes. Okay. Okay, so and let's take our tape. And let's fold. Let's fold and burnish. Now, we're going to put our pockets on. We're going to start with the largest, and we're going to put the largest at the bottom. No, we're going to put the largest, well, it's going to go to the bottom for sure, like this. Okay, so again, to make sure that you have it straight, what I will often do is, we can take that off after, is I put this even with the bottom. Okay, even with the bottom. And, oh, okay, let's try that again. Okay, let's put the, what doesn't have tape on it yet, even with the bottom, nice and straight. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take this off, and we're going to take this off, and we're going to fold it down, and it's just going to go nicely like that. Okay, then we're going to take our second one and we're going to put it on top of the first one. Same way. We'll take it. Nice and even. And then we're going to take our last one. Oop. Okay, we'll have to go this way or this way. And we're going to, you know what? Let me just redo that because there we go. I'm going to do it the same way. Okay, so it's going to go down at the bottom. There we go. There we go. And so we have our 3 pockets. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we're going to adhere this flap to here, to the inside cover. Okay. And I am going to do it upside down because that's the way I work. Okay, so again, we don't want it too close to our score line there. And it is smaller than our cover. So I'm going to put it so that it's like not even a 1/16, shall we say, from the top. And even with the side, the outside side. Okay, so it's right there, right on the edge. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to, there, our inside cover is done. Let's go to page 1. So page 1, let me clean up again here. Okay, page 1. Okay. Okay, so page 1 is 5 and one of them is 5 3/4 by 5 1/4. That doesn't sound right. Aha, this is page 2. This should say page 2 on it. Always check your. Okay, so these are all page 2s. Let's just check. Maybe I forgot to put page 1 in. Okay, these are all page 2. 5 3/4 by 5 1/4. Yes. Okay. And is this page? This is 6 1/2 by 5 3/4. So this is page 1 flap. I just had them mixed up. This is 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. This is another flap for page 1. Okay. One is slightly smaller than the other. Okay. Oh, I'm thirsty. Okay. So we're going to take the one that's 6 3/4 by 6 1/4, and we're going to score it at 1/2. we're going to take the other one at a 6.5 and we're going to score it at 1/2. Okay, and we're going to tape. And we're going to miter. We're going to put the smaller flap, this one, to the larger one, centered. Okay. And we're going to put it, just bring the, oh boy, hold on. I just made a mess with my drink. So let me just clean this up for a second. I'm back. Not too huge a mess, just a little one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as I was saying, here are the flaps on page 1, right? So we're going to put the smaller flap onto the bigger flap on this side. Okay, so on the opposite side to the tape. Okay, so the big flap is going to go onto our page like this. Sorry, like this. And our littler flap will go on the other side. Okay, so we are going to our tape's on this side. Now this one is smaller, so I'm just going to center it. And I'll leave about the same amount. If you want, you could put it on top or at the bottom. I just decided to center mine. Okay, so it's going to go like this and like that. Okay. And now we're going to adhere them to our page 1. So page 1, remember the 2 ends are on your left and your right. We're going to tape this one onto the, okay, adhere the smaller flap to the larger one center. Adhere these flaps to the right side of page 1. So it's going to go like this. Okay. So this is page 1. Remember, we need our ends on the side. We're going to turn it. I'm just going to put it so that it's moving on me. Let's take the score pal away. Maybe that'll help me. Okay, and there, and there. Oh. There we go. Okay. And we're going to be putting a magnet. I'm going to put a magnet here and here so that these will stay closed. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what we've done. Here's page 1. We've just adhered these like this. Okay. Oh, I think I might have put the magnet here so that this adhered all the way through to here. I think that's what I did, actually. Then it's nice and closed. Okay, that's page 1. Page 2. Okay, let's take a look at page 2. What does it look like when we're done? So page 2 has 4 flaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And these were the ones that we had seen here before that I had misnumbered. Okay, so we are going to score. Each one measures the same. We're going to score at 5 3/4 at a half. And where's my score? I don't know about you, but I spend almost more time looking for my tools rather than using them. I'm going to have to pull another one out. There we go. I have more than one, so we're okay. All right, so I'm going to score that at a half, making sure it's 5 3/4 on top. All right. So we're going to tape. Go. I am going to miter. And fold and burnish. Going to take our page 2. And yeah, my numbers are upside down, but this is right. So I'm just going to flip it this way. And I'm going to make sure that my openings are to the left and right. And we're going to put these on just on the left, on the right, at the top and at the bottom. Now, I did mine where I centered all of them, okay? You could put one on top here, one on top there, or at the bottom there. It's totally up to you how you want to put them in. I think I'm going to do them the same way that I did my actual book. So I'm going to, I just eyeballed it, right? I did not measure. Okay. There's one. There's two. There's three. And one more. Now I'm going to make sure, I should have made sure these two kind of, look at that, they do. That's just luck. I'm just going to make sure that these actually do go the same, they line up, right? There. Now, what I did was these are this. So, where are my openings? Oh, my openings are, okay. Where, oh, they're here. Okay. Nope, they're not there. Okay, I am having, here we go. There's my opening. Okay, so it doesn't matter at all. I think I made so that my openings, that this was my top flap. It really doesn't matter. Okay, but what I did was I put a magnet here. So I put a magnet here, and I put a magnet here. So that kept it closed. Okay, that's page 2 done. Let's set it aside. Page 3 has a pocket, a tuck spot, I call it. It's not really a pocket, kind of, but not really, because, yeah, it's a pocket, sorry. Because here's page 3. Yeah, okay. 1/2 inch on this side and 6 3/4 on that side. 1/2 inch on each side, right? Again, we're going to tape and tape. We're going to put tape on the inside bottom so it does become a pocket. Otherwise, things are going to slide through. Burnish. Where's my page 3? Here's my page 3. Okay. I adhered it to the right side, so I put it on this side. Okay, I put it up and down just for something different. All right, so let's start with the make sure that this is even to the side. I'm going to take that off. And I see that I put my tape a little bit off, so I'm just going to fold it in. I don't want to see it, so I'm going to fold it in. There we go. And now we're just going to make sure that it goes to the bottom. And page 3 is done. Okay. Page 4, we don't add anything. That was the one where there was nothing. So we're going to set it aside. Page 5. Okay, this is our waterfall. So, first of all, we have our belly band, because that's what our waterfall goes on to. And our belly band is 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. So on the 7 1/4, we are going to score at both, 1/2 inch at both ends. So a 1/2 inch and at 6 3/4. Okay, and that's it for the belly band. For the, let's see here, okay, these are our waterfall flaps. They're all 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, we're going to score on the 4 3/4 at a 1/2. There we go. Now we don't miter for the we don't miter waterfall flaps. It just looks more finished if they're not mitered, because you do see the back of the page, right? So we don't miter them. Oh, I'm out of tape. Lucky I found another one. But where did I? Oh, here. Nope. Here. This didn't quite go to the edge. So let's cut that off and put another little piece there. There. Okay. Remember, we're not mitering, we're just scoring and folding, taping. No mitering. Okay, we are going to take our belly band and we're going to attach. Let's tape these first. Let's get that done first here. There we go. Lots of taping, right? And I love sequin because it has yet to let me down. I've made books that have lasted years and years in the store, and you can imagine how many times they've been looked through. Probably more than they would in your house. So that's my gauge. If it's gonna last and not fall apart in the store, it's gonna last at home, right? Okay, so this is our belly band. It's gonna go on our page 5. Where did I put my page 5? Here's my page 5. It's gonna go up and down like this, okay? And our waterfall is gonna go on it like that. Okay, so we're gonna start at the top. Remember, I'm gonna flip it because that's the way I work. And we're gonna start like right pretty much top of the belly band, maybe 1/8 of an inch, not even, but we're gonna make sure that it's right even with the side of our belly band, right? We don't want it to be on either side. Okay. We're going to fold out. Let's make sure this is. And we're going to put the next one, if you've never done a waterfall, the next one is going to go right under. Do you see where the edge of this one is? It's going to go right there. Not on here, not on the 1/2 inch, but right underneath it, tucked underneath it, okay? So it's going to tuck right under. Oh, we don't want that side. I want this side first. Okay, tucked right underneath, even with the side. Okay, nice and even with the side and tucked under. Okay. Same thing again. Tucked under that 1/2 inch piece, even with the side. Whoop. Okay. Not quite even. Okay, and one more. There we go. There. Okay, I don't like my first one. It's not even. So I'm going to take it apart. Can I? I can. I'm going to use my handy dandy undo. if you've never used it, it's a game changer. It's a savior. All you do is you go along here like this, and it doesn't affect your paper. It doesn't hurt it. It doesn't make it. Oh, it wasn't that one that was the problem. Okay, let's put it back. It's this one that's the problem. You'll never notice, you'll never see. It doesn't change the color of your paper. It's just wonderful stuff. It doesn't, you don't have to retape. It just retapes itself. Like the tape is still good. Okay, so let me just make sure that this is straight this time. Okay, I think I like that better. Let's see. See how it sticks again? Not a problem. So that's undo. Okay, we're going to take our page 5 and we're going to put our belly band / waterfall on top of it. I'm going to start with the top. We're going to make sure that our 2 sides are open. I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to just eyeball, and I'm going to put it right even with the top. Okay. And we'll do the same with the bottom. It'll just fall into place. Okay, so I'm just going to fall into place. And when you go to put your patterned paper in, it'll slide nice and easily through here, not a problem. Now, I didn't put any magnets on it this time because I found once I put my paper down that it sat nicely. Okay, so now we're on 6, and 6 has the booklet. My papers are all mixed up. 7, 7, 8, back cover. Did I not give myself a 7, a 6? 5.5 by 11. I guess I didn't. So I'm going to have to cut that real quick. 5.5 by 11. Let's see, is this 5.5? No. Okay, I'm going to have to cut a new one. Five and a half by 11. There we go. Okay, and this put the 11 on the top. We're going to score at 5.5. And we're going to fold. And we can't put it onto our page 6 until we've covered it with our pattern paper. It'll just go on here like this. Okay, so you're not going to see much of your pattern paper. So if you wanted to have an edge of black like this, you could just leave it, put it on now. Totally up to you. Okay, on to page 7 once I find my... Like I said, I'm always losing my stuff. Okay, I don't see it, so I think I have another one. Sheesh. Oh, here's my original one. Okay, page 7. We have a base. A base that is 6 by 6. 6 by 6. And we have 4 flaps that are 6 5/8 by 6. Okay, so you'll have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 that are the same. Okay, we're going to take the ones that are 6 by 6 5/8, and we're going to score on the 6 5/8 at a half and at 5/8. Let me just make sure. Yes, and at 5/8. So 5/8 is the line right beside the half. You're going to make just a very, very small half, 5/8. Half and 5/8. Half, 5/8. Okay. And we're going to, as always, tape. Just on the 1/2 inch, okay? Not on that other little gully. Okay? And one more. Okay. Going to miter. I'm going to fold, and we're going to have to make another fold, and this one you just kind of going to have to like work it so that you have a tiny, tiny little space. Okay. Whichever one you think is easiest to do first. Let's go. One last one. Now we're going to adhere those on the base. Oh, I'm sorry. This is, oh, yes, I forgot. All right, we've zoomed around. We're on this one right now. We're on the, how do I make these rectangles? Or, sorry, triangles. Okay, so here's how we do it. We are going to, I say to adhere the flaps to all sides. Yeah, I think we should. Let's do what I told you to do. Okay, so we're going to adhere to all sides of our base. Okay, this is our base. We're going to adhere these to all sides. So, doesn't matter where you start because they're all the same. Remember, you've got a little bit of a space. You're not putting that gusset down. It's got to be up there. Okay. The next one. Trying to do it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Open again and second last one. And one more. Come on, there we go. Okay. All right. So now we are going to score each of these flaps. So we're going to do them each individually. Okay, so I use these pieces here to help me. Whichever way you want to do it, I put my one corner there and then my other corner here. Okay, hope you can see that. So I have one corner there, kind of in the middle, and then I've just bring this around so that I have the other one there. And you want to go from the score mark to the corner. Okay, from the second score mark. Okay, so there's one. And all I do is I take it and I rotate to the right. Sorry, rotate to the left, left, right. And I do the same. Okay, so from the score mark to the corner. And that does this one. Rotate again to the left and score mark to the corner. And last one. Score mark to the corner. Oh, I've lost, oh, there we go. Score mark to the corner. Okay. And we bring this one in. I'm going to looks difficult, but it really isn't, is it? There. And let's see. Where's my sides? Oh, that we are okay. So what I did was I put this one in and that one in, and then I think I did it this way. Okay, it's totally up to you. This guy is sticking out a little bit. If you don't like that, you could always just cut it off. That works better, I think. Okay. And we take our page, that's our booklet. Where's our page 7? Here's our page 7. And we're going to put this onto our page 7. Okay, so we're going to put tape all around the base page. And I'm going to put one in the middle just for good measure. Okay. So. Okay. Oh, it doesn't matter how you put this on, but I always just make sure that I have my there we go. Now, I really don't like this little bit that's sticking out. So I'm just gonna, there, nobody will know except all of you guys. This is page 7. Page 8. Page 8 is just a flap. Actually, oh, 2 flaps. Okay, where is my other one? I seem to have yes, we need one that's 4 3/4 by 10 and a half. No, yeah. 4 3/4 by 10 and a half. I guess I muddled that one up. Okay, let's do it. It's 4 3/4 by 10 and a half. And we are going to score it on score it on 4 3/4. That is definitely a mistake in the directions. Do not score on the 4 3/4 because you won't have a 5 there. It's score on the 10 and a half. So, please note that on page 8, you score at a half, and 10 and 5 and a half, and 5, sorry. Okay, score at a half and 5 on the 10 and a half. That was a real muck-up mistake. Okay, we're going to put our tape. We're going to miter. Burnish. And we're going to put it on the left side of our page. So we're going to put it here. Okay, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to... Okay, again, I made a mistake. I think this is going to have to be mitered at a different spot. Yes, it's going to have to be, because this is 4 and a half. And now we need, let me measure my book. Yeah, it's 5 and 5. So it's at a half and at 5 and a half. I was right the first time. So we're going to fold it there and here. That's a lot better. Okay, so you're going to fold at exactly, no, I said 5. You're right, I'm right. Whew. Sorry, so sorry for muddling that up. Okay, we're now going to put it, I put it on the left. So this is the left. And I just, again, eyeballed the center. There we go. And it's going to go like this. Now, did I put a... I did put a magnet here. Yes. So, again, you're going to put a magnet here. And you could put one here. And then that way it'll stay closed, right? Like that. Done page 8. We need to do our inside back cover. And we have 2 flaps. A little bit different in size. This is 6 and 5/8. This one's 6 3/4. 6 3/4. On the 6 3/4, we are going to miter at a half, or sorry, score at a half. On the 6 5/8, we are also going to score at a half. And we have a belly band that, again, I neglected to do for myself. Sheesh. And it is 4 by 7 in your kits. Let's see if I can find a 4 by 7 piece of paper. Is this 4? Not quite. I have so many pieces of paper in my stash. Okay, we'll make this one 4. By 7. Okay, here's my 4 by 7. I'm going to score on the 7 at a half and at 6 1/2. tape. I'm going to take the flaps. I'm going to lighter. There we go. Gold and burnish. All right, so we're going to take our bigger one, flap A. I believe this is the flap A. Let's just check. It's the smaller one, 6 and okay, 6 3/4. We're going to take it, and we're going to take our book back, and we're going to put it on the left side so that there's the same amount of room all over. So I would say, you know, that's what, 1/8, not even 1/4. And it's away from your score line here. You don't want it to be on the score line. Okay. So that's about right. And we're going to take our other big one and we're going to put it down here. Okay. And again, we're going to put it about the same distance away from the side, from the right-hand side, so that it's a little bit, that's okay. All right, and then we're going to put our belly band on this one. So we're going to, again, I just eyeball. There, we have our belly band on. Okay, we're all done. We have to put our pages on. So let's start with page 1. Before we start, I want to talk to you about this new tool that Gabrielle's Heart made for me. Oh, goodness gracious, don't tell me I can't find it in amongst my mess. I got it out for you. Okay, let me look a little further. My Lord, what did I do? What did I do with it? Found it. Okay, it's bright yellow, so you really can't lose it. Okay, what this is it is going to stop us, me, because we don't want to put our pages in right to the end, like right close to the board, to the cover. If we do that, then our pages won't open and sit nicely. Okay, they'll stay standing up. So what Gabrielle's Heart did for me is they fabricated this tool that I can slide. There's exactly 1/2 inch between each of these, so that's 1/2 inch here. And I put this, and they made it so that it's good for up to 6 or more. Okay, so you can see that this sits nicely down. And now when I go to put my page on to my hinge, I just go like this, and it'll sit on my hinge nicely. Okay. Okay, why is it not going down? It should. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. There we go. It's just not, because of the tape, the extra paper on the tape, it's not sitting in. There we go. Okay, so it won't let me go any further than what the tape is. So let's try that. Let's take our tape off. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. It's got to come off on the other side too. Oh, we got it. And what I like to do is put a little bit of liquid glue on each side, just to help it, to give me a little bit of wiggle time, which really with this new tool, we shouldn't have to. There shouldn't need to be any wiggle time, but just in case. Okay, so page 1, and I'm just going to do this with it so that it gives it a little bit of room. And we lay down there. And I've pushed it as far down as I can onto my tool. Okay. Now if we take the tool away, you're going to see how there's still some room, and see how it lays. It doesn't, if we didn't have that and we were all the way down, the first one might lay, but not the rest. Okay, so let's put this back. You don't need to take it off every time. I just did it to show you. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. I remember the first one gave me a bit of problem because I had 9.5 tape, not the 7. So it was a little wide for my... Okay, this is page 3. Yep. It's right down on both sides. Okay. Now just because I want you guys to see, I'm going to keep pulling it off. See how it's nicely, it lays down nicely. Okay. Now it's also, I mean, it doesn't, just because it's short doesn't mean that you can't use it with a 10 by 10 album or an 8.5 album, because really you only need it for the ends of your hinges, right? Not the center. It doesn't matter, because as long as your the edges are going in properly, your middle will as well. Okay, this is page 5, 6. And this is 7, 8. Okay, 6. Okay, make sure that you're putting it right, not so that you don't have an upside down waterfall. There we go. Come on. There we go. And lastly, I'm just gonna oh, no. Let's try this over here. There we go. That's better. I'm just gonna glue you back down. Do I have to? I think it's gonna be okay. There we go. And our page 7, and then our page 8. Okay, 7. Push far in as far as you can go with the tool. Take it out. And there you have it. Our album is done. Congratulations, you're finished. And then, like I said, these inserts, what I did is I made little, I don't know, little pull tabs. I just made them by hand. Up to you what you want. You probably want to make something, because otherwise it'll be hard to pull your insert out. Okay. So that is the album. Now, I do want to reiterate, on page 8, your flap on the 10.5 inch side, you're going to score it on the 10.5 at a 1/2 and 5. Okay. that was, thank goodness, my only mistake on my instructions, which is good for me because I can often make lots of mistakes. So that is the Winnie the Pooh album. I hope you enjoy making it. I had a lot of fun. And when you go to put the pretty paper on, oh my goodness, it's so fun. There's it's such cute paper. So thanks for watching, and we will see you again, hopefully. Bye now.